Alright, so we have Islam Makachev versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker got a 2-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage over Islam. And Hooker, he does fight long too, like he uses length quite well. He's got good timing, good accuracy. That's why he gets so many KOs. You know, you don't usually see strikers get this many finishes in the. As soon as I look it up, he's got like 3 decisions in his last 3 wins. But anyway, like he gets a lot of KOs. Like KOs, like one-shot KOs, and that's because he's got very good accuracy and good timing on his techniques. He's got a good jab, good control of range. Islam Makachev, a bit more basic, but he's serviceable on the feet. He's much less reckless now, in my opinion, since when he got KO'd by Adriano Martins. He's much more defensively sound and stuff like that. He still leans back to avoid strikes, and he does have that lead hand low at all times, so he does need to watch out for like the left hook of Dan Hooker, because that will be coming over the lead shoulder of Islam Makachev. So he does need to watch out for that, because Dan Hooker does set up that left hook quite nicely. He utilizes a jab, either a jab to the body or a jab to the face, and he either goes left rip to the body after throwing the jab, or a left hook up top, and I think that is the combination that he knocked James Vick out with. It was a jab, left hook, so both coming from the left hand side, and James Vick just ran into it. But you know, another thing Dan Hooker has is very nice intercepting straight knees, and we saw him catch Jim Miller with it. We saw him catch Ross Pearson with it, which is the best example, I think. And Islam, you know, in his last fight, or maybe 2 fights ago, against Drew Dober, he like swan dived into a takedown. It looked quite forced. It looked quite desperate, but you know, it is dangerous because Dan Hooker does get those knees up very quickly, and he's got very good timing on those intercepting techniques. Also with the straight right, he has very good timing on the straight right when the opponent is trying to close distance and they're leaving themselves open. So I do think Islam, he is in a little bit of danger on the feet for sure. He's improved his striking defense a lot, but you know, it's still not where I want it to be, or where I think he should want it to be. Islam on the feet, yeah, as I said, basic, southpaw, straight right, mostly to set up his takedown entries anyway. And that's his bread and butter, is the takedowns. He utilizes pressure to get opponents near the fence. He'll start cutting off the cage, cuts off the cage very well, and he waits for the opponent to square their stance. And then when he's right in front of them and they're squaring their stance, that's when he'll shoot for the hips. And more often than not, he does get the takedown. In the open, he's more looking for the single leg. Single leg variations in the open, lifts up the leg, trips the back leg, runs the pipe, you know, stuff like that. He does leave a bit of space with his head in the outside when he's attempting the head in the outside single leg, so he does need to watch out for the guillotine of Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, I think his nickname, the Hangman, I think it's because he hangs on people's necks. I think I heard that somewhere. So, you know, obviously known for his guillotine. Just gotta watch your P's and Q's when you're Islam Makachev, when you're shooting that single leg, because Dan Hooker, he will be looking for that guillotine quite a bit. But yeah, Islam Makachev, very nice foot sweeps in the clinch, really slick takedown game in the clinch, gets the body lock as well, puts them on a hip, just kind of throws them around a bit. He's very, very good takedowns in the clinch. How these guys win fights. For Dan Hooker, very good timing, good accuracy, we talked about it before, good chin, tough as nails. For Islam Makachev, good grappling cardio, slickest takedown game in the UFC in my opinion. Good takedown defense, good scrambles. How these guys lose fights. Dan Hooker, he will slow down late in competitive fights, in the 3rd round, in a 3-round fight, and you know, slows down the championship rounds in a 5-rounder. Past the victory for these two. For Makhachev, I think, yeah, force him to the cage, just basically your normal game plan, father's plan, I guess you want to call it. Look to fake the entries, just so you can draw out the knees. He's going to be throwing knees up the middle, so fake your entries and wait for the knees, and then you can shoot after that, after he does pop the knee out, because he won't be able to throw, you know, consecutive rapid fire knees. It's just very hard physically. For Dan Hooker, look to end your combinations with a left hook as he's leaning back. We talked about it before. Same combination that you ended James Vick with. Look to throw that as well against Makhachev. Constantly feint the knees. Just threaten the knees, threaten the uppercuts. Just try and keep it on the feet, really, trying to make him be a bit cautious in the cautious to clinch up, cautious to shoot. Just make him not want to do that. Also look for the guillotine on the single leg. Look for that to stay on your feet. If you're down 2 rounds to 0, then obviously commit to the guillotine, but look to use it to stay on your feet for the most part. So how I see it going, can't remember if I said that or not. So I think Islam is probably going to do what he normally does. I don't think there's anyone at 155 who I'd favour over Islam right now. Like, you look at Dan Hooker's record, and there's not one wrestler in sight. Like Michael Chandler, I guess, but Chandler seems to like just throwing hands these days. But if anyone's going to beat Islam, it's going to be someone like Hooker, someone who's very dangerous, someone who their game is to keep it at kickboxing range and then catch you as you're coming in. That's Dan Hooker's bread and butter. That's his game. Also, maybe someone with a dangerous submission game when defending takedowns. So maybe someone like Charles Oliveira. I think that would probably be the worst matchup for Islam in the division. But I feel like Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, and Dariush would just run over Charles Oliveira. So that's why you can't do MMA maths. But yeah, I think Charlie Olives is probably the most dangerous matchup for Islam at the moment. RDA, I feel like that was a much easier matchup for Islam. Hooker is dangerous, like at least, but RDA, his defensive grappling was just gonna, it was gonna be a big burden for him in this fight, and I think Islam was gonna take him down at will. But yeah, really, I think Dan Hooker is probably still guillotine, knee, or a huge KO punch on the feet, or bust. Like, that's probably his path to victory, because Islam's grappling pressure is just too good. He's gonna get on the fence. He's gonna Dan Hooker's gonna be quite tentative on the feet. Islam could probably, edge the standing portions of the fight just with his takedown threat. So it's just it's tough, because Islam, what's his name? Dan Hooker is a great fighter, but Islam is just that dude at the moment. It's just that dude that's probably going to get the championship sometime soon. So yeah, anyway, let's have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so if you guys like the video, just push the channel out a little bit. That would be fantastic. Really helps out a lot more than you imagine. Alright, so prediction is Islam decision. I feel like he's going to want to finish. He's going to try for a finish. Just so, put the division on notice a little bit. But I feel like Hooker's just going to be too tough, and he's going to do enough to survive. So I think the line is basically correct. I think he's a bit too much of a favorite at the moment. I feel like there's a little bit of value on Hooker at $6. I mean, that's just a little bit too wide. What's the inside the distance for Hooker? I mean, $10. I'd take that. That's too wide. I might probably play that over the money line. I don't know if he's going to be able to edge a decision, but $6 and the inside the distance $10. I'd probably split that. Makhachev by decision. Nah. I mean, yeah. I think everything else is correct. But yeah, so that's probably what I'll play. I think Islam wins, but I'm probably just going to sprinkle a little bit on Hooker and Hooker inside the distance.